in Chambers Degree College. Okay, so in this presentation I would like to explain our fifth semester subjects. Those are the consumer electronics and microprocessor. Now in this presentation I would like to explain the microprocessor. Okay, the full name of this paper is Intel 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so here the microprocessor is nothing but here this word, complete word, is dividing into two parts. Here M is nothing but a micro. Micro is nothing but small. So micro is nothing but small, and processor is nothing but it will perform the operations. So it will perform the operations. So what type of operations a microprocessor can perform? So those all are the arithmetic and logical operations. Okay, so arithmetic and logical operations. So here a microprocessor is an electronic device. That means it is an IC. IC is nothing but it is an integrated circuit. So that means all the electronic components are fabricated in a single chip. So here a microprocessor is an IC which includes arithmetic and logical unit, arithmetic and logical unit. Okay, next a register unit, okay, and next one is a control unit, a control unit. So that means all these devices are fabricated in a single IC. So that is nothing but a microprocessor. Okay, so now in this paper, so it is an Intel 8085. So that means an Intel company is invented this microprocessor IC. Okay, so here in 1977, okay, so the Intel company is invented this microprocessors. So the first microprocessor is 4004 microprocessor. So it is a 4-bit processor. Okay, so the memory size of this processor is 64 bytes of a memory. Okay, so and it is a 16-pin IC. Okay, after that it is an 8008 microprocessor. So it is an 8-bit processor. The memory size of this microprocessor is 16 kilobytes of a memory, and it is an 18 pins. So in this microprocessor it has an 18 pins, and after that 8080 a microprocessor. So it is also an 8-bit processor. Okay, so the memory size of this microprocessor is 64 kilobytes, and it is a 40-pin IC. Okay, so and after that 8085 microprocessor. This microprocessor is also an 8-bit processor. So the memory size is 64 kilobytes. Okay, and it is also a 40-pin IC, and after that 8086 microprocessor. So it is a 16-bit microprocessor. The memory size of this microprocessor is 64 kilobytes. Okay, so next it is also a 40-pin IC. After that, so many microprocessors are coming into the picture, but in this paper we discuss about only this is, that is 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so here it is an 8085 microprocessor is also called as an 8-bit processor. So that means a processor can process an 8-bit of information. So that's why an 8085 microprocessor is an 8-bit processor. Okay, so the memory size of this 8085 microprocessor is 64 kilobytes and it is a 40-pin IC. Okay, so next, so what is the need for the invention of this microprocessor? So the need for this microprocessor is we have to reduce the size of an electronic device and also we have to improve the speed of an electronic device. So that's why a microprocessor is coming into the picture. Next, coming to, so what are the examples of a microprocessor based systems are our mobile phone and laptops. Those all are the examples of a microprocessor based system. Okay, now I will explain the operation of a microprocessor with one example. Okay. Okay, so now I will draw the block diagram of, so here this is the block diagram of a microprocessor based system. Microprocessor based system. Now I consider one input device here. This is an input device. Okay, so this input device is connecting to the microprocessor. So this is a microprocessor device, that means IC, which includes arithmetic and logical unit, register unit and control unit. Okay, so all units are in a single IC. So, and it has a system bus. Here this is a system bus, a system bus. That means bus is nothing but a group of lines. So that means group of connecting wires is nothing but a bus. So here this is a system bus. So, and another device, that is, it is a memory. Okay, and after that, so it is an output device. Okay, so this is the complete block diagram of a microprocessor based system. Okay, so now when we are applying of an input to the microprocessor, a microprocessor, it is also called as a programmable device. That means it will some programs is stored in the memory. So program is nothing but what? A set of instructions. Those all set of instructions are stored in this memory. Okay, so that means whenever we are applying of an input signal to the microprocessor, a microprocessor can take the instructions from this memory. Okay, so taking is nothing but it will fetch the instruction. So first operation is it will take the instruction from the memory. Taking is nothing but it will fetch the instruction from the memory. After fetching the instruction, it will decode that instruction. So next operation is it will decode that instruction. So decoding is nothing but it will interpret that instruction. After decoding, it will execute that instruction. It will execute that instruction. Okay, so these are the major operations are performed by this microprocessor. It will fetch the instruction from the memory, it will decode that instruction, and after that it will execute that instruction. After the execution of that instruction, it will be again giving to the microprocessor because of the storage purpose. In sometimes it will give the output device for the displaying purpose. Okay, so now these are the operations are performed by this a microprocessor. Okay, fetch the instruction, decode the instruction, and execute the instruction. Okay, now I will explain the definition of a microprocessor. Now I will explain the definition of a microprocessor. Here definition of a microprocessor. Here a microprocessor, in shortcut I write it is an UP. A microprocessor is a programmable device. A microprocessor is a programmable device which takes numbers, perform on them. So what type of operations it is? Those all are the arithmetic and logical operations. Arithmetic and logical operations according to program stored in the memory. According to the program stored in the memory, it will produces an output in the form of numbers. Okay, so this is the definition of a microprocessor. So a microprocessor is a programmable device. So a microprocessor is a programmable device. Is nothing but program, is nothing but what? A set of instructions. Those all set of instructions are stored in the memory. Okay, so a programmable device which takes numbers, it will take the numbers. So what type of numbers it is? Those all are a binary numbers. Okay, so a binary numbers and perform on them. Okay, so these numbers it will perform on those numbers, that means a binary numbers. So what type of operations it is? Arithmetic and logical operations. So according to the program stored in the memory. So that means what type of program is stored in the memory. So depending upon that program, it will perform the arithmetic and logical operations, and it will produces output, and it will gives the output is in the form of numbers. That means it will give the output is in the form of numbers also. Okay, and also some important points are you have to remember. So a microprocessor is also one of the example for the digital system. Okay, so what is the example of a digital system? A computer is the best example for the digital system. Okay, so a computer can understand only low level language. That means a machine level language can understand computer. Okay, so likewise a microprocessor can understand only a low level language, that is the a machine level language. Okay, so that means in the microprocessor program execution, one device is there, so that is an assembler. So that assembler is converting that assembly level language into a machine level language. So assembly level language is nothing but whatever the language we use, that means like C, C++, what are the language we use to write the program, so that language is converting into a machine level language. So machine level language is nothing but a low level language. Okay, so that means a microprocessor can knows only the hexadecimal numbers. It can easily understand the hexadecimal values. Okay, so and next one is a microprocessor device is developed based on an NMOS technology. So NMOS technology. And next, the architecture of 8085 microprocessor is based on the Princeton architecture. Princeton architecture. These 2 points are very important points. Okay, so and next, the main need for developing of this microprocessor device is we have to reduce the size of a microprocessor and we have to improve the speed of the microprocessor. Okay, so another important point is to reduce size and to increase speed of a digital system. Okay, so that is the need for developing of this a microprocessor IC. Okay, next coming to the, so what are the basic features of an 8085 microprocessor? Basic features of (8085) a microprocessor. I am already told a microprocessor is a 40-pin IC. So it is a 40-pin IC. Okay, and next need for the frequency. So that means a microprocessor can operate a 3 megahertz of a clock frequency. Okay, and also a microprocessor can has a 16-bit address lines, 8-bit data lines, 16-bit address lines and 8-bit data lines. Okay, so a microprocessor can operating the power supply. Need for the power supply is that is plus 5 volts of a power supply. Okay, so these are the basic features of a microprocessor, and also a microprocessor have a 74 instructions. 74 instructions. Okay, these all are the basic features of a microprocessor. Okay, so now I will explain about the pin diagram of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so here this is the pin diagram of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so it has a 40 pins starting from here. So this is from 1 to 20 top to bottom, and here from 21 to 40, here from bottom to top. Okay, so here these are the first two pins, 1 and 2 pins, that is X1 and X2 pins. So here the first two pins, okay, so the first pins, pin number 1, pin number 1 and 2, okay, so those all are the X1 and X2. A microprocessor can has a internal clock generator circuit. So that means here in between these two pins and X1 and X2, in between these two pins we have to connect a clock generator. Okay, for that purpose a crystal oscillator is connecting between these two pins. Okay, so a crystal oscillator is connecting between these two pins. Okay, so the frequency for this crystal oscillator frequency is equal to 6 megahertz. Okay, so but a microprocessor can use off of that crystal oscillator frequency. Therefore, the frequency of a microprocessor is 3 megahertz. Okay, so 3 megahertz. That means off of this crystal oscillator frequency is nothing but 6 by 2. That is only 3 megahertz of clock frequency. And next one is the pin number 3. Okay, so next one is, so here the pin number 3, that is reset out. So here reset is nothing but clear. So reset is nothing but clear. So reset out is nothing but, so what are the external devices or what are the peripherals are connected to this microprocessor, those all devices are reset. That means 0000H. Okay, so that means a microprocessor can understand only hexadecimal values. That's why I mention here H. H is nothing but an hexadecimal values. And next after that pin number 4 and 5. So pin number 4 and 5. Okay, so these pin number 4 and 5 are the SOD and SID. SOD is nothing but serial output data. So here it is a serial output data. That means the data send serially. Send the data serially. And next SID is nothing but serial input data. Is nothing but serial input data. So that means it will receive the data serially. So these two pins are used for the serial communication. So these two pins are SID and SOD. So these two pins are used for the serial communication. Used for the serial communication. Okay, so and next one is after the next pins are pin number 6 to pin number 11. Next pins, pin number 6 to pin number 11. Okay, so those all are the interrupt pins. So these are the interrupt pins. So what is meant by an interrupt? An interrupt is a signal, an immediate action to be performed for that signal. Okay, so that is nothing but an interrupt. Interrupt is a signal, an immediate action to performed to for that signal. So that is nothing but an interrupt signal. So those all are the trap. Next one is RST 7.5. So RST 6.5. So RST 5.5. Next one is INTR. Next one is INTA bar. So here the first one is trap. Trap is a non-maskable interrupt. Non-maskable trap is a non-maskable interrupt. Here it is also a highest priority interrupt. So it gives highest priority. Okay, so highest priority interrupt, and after that RST 6.5, 7.5, 6.5, 5.5. So RST is nothing but restart. So restart. Here a trap is an highest priority interrupt. After next priority is RST 7.5, and after priority is 6.5, and after priority is 7.5, and after that and last priority, that means the lowest priority is INTA bar. So here INTR is nothing but interrupt receive. So it will receive an interrupt. Okay, and next one is INTA bar. So here INTR is nothing but interrupt receive. Okay, next INTA bar. So it is an active low signal. Active low signal. So INTA bar is nothing but it is an interrupt acknowledgement. So that means whenever an interrupt is received, after receiving of an interrupt, a microprocessor can send an acknowledgement to the peripherals. So that is nothing but INTA bar. Okay, and next after that the pin number 12 and to pin number 19. So and after that the pin number 12 to 19. So these all are the multiplexed address and data lines. So here these are the multiplexed address and data lines. Okay, so address and data lines. An 8085 microprocessor has a 16-bit address lines and 8-bit data lines. So here the 16-bit address lines are A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, so A10, A11, so A12, A13, A14 and A15. These 16-bit address lines are dividing into two parts. First one is the lower order address lines and higher order address lines. So these are the lower order address lines A0 to A7 and A8 to A15 are the higher order address lines. Okay, higher order address lines. So these lower order address lines are multiplexed with the lower order data lines. Those data lines are D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. That means these two are multiplexed. That means we are combining of both address and data lines. Okay, so combining of these two lines, it will form AD0, and after that combining of these two lines, so that is AD1, and after that, so it is AD2, and this is AD3. So these are the AD4. So these are the AD5. So these two are the AD6 and these two are the AD7. Okay, so these are the lower order address and data lines. Okay, so here these are the bidirectional address and data lines. Okay, so now these two are multiplexed. So multiplexing is nothing but combining and transmitting in a single channel. So channel is nothing but a wire. So that means AD0 to AD7 are the multiplexed address and data lines. And next, after that, the pin number 20 is VSS is nothing but it is a ground pin. Okay, next after that, the pin number 21 to 28. So those all are the higher order address lines. So these are the bidirectional address lines and these are the unidirectional address lines. So here, so these are the unidirectional higher order address lines. Okay, so next after that, the pin number 20 and pin number 33. So after that, the pin number, so pin number 29 and 33, those are S0 and S1. Here these two pins are the status signals. By using these two signals, we have to identify the operation of a microprocessor. Okay, so identify the operation of a microprocessor. And next pin is the ALE. So that is pin number 30 is ALE is nothing but address latch enable. So here it is address latch enable. Okay, so the main use of this ALE is here AD0 to AD7. So these are the multiplexed address and data lines. So therefore we have to separate the address and data. So by using one latch, so that latch is called as an ALE. Okay, so if ALE is equal to 1, so it will acts as an address. Okay, so if ALE is equal to 0, it will act as a data. Okay, so for the separating of these two, we have to use one latch. So that latch is called as address latch enable. If address latch enable is equal to 1, it will act as an address. Address latch is equal to 0, it will be acts as a data. Okay, so that is nothing but an ALE. And after that, the pin number 31 and 32. And after that, the pin number, so So 31 and 32. So those pins are read bar and write bar. So these two signals are the control signals. So these two signals are the control signals. Okay. So these two pins are also an active low signal. So these are the active low signal. Okay. So that means if RD bar is equal to 0, so it will perform the read operation. It will perform the read operation. That means it will read the data from memory to a microprocessor. Okay. After that, if WR bar is also an active low signal, if WR bar is equal to 0, it will perform the write operation. It will perform the write operation. That means it is from microprocessor to memory. So here read operation is nothing but memory to microprocessor. So here write operation is nothing but microprocessor to memory. So that means it will store the data in the memory. So that is nothing but a write operation and read operation. And next, coming to the next pin number is 34. Next pin number is pin number 34. Here the pin is IO by a memory bar. So it is also a status signal. So it is also a status signal. So okay, if IO by memory bar is equal to 0, so what will be happening? It will perform the memory operation. It will perform the memory operation. If IO by M bar is equal to 1, it will perform the IO operation. It will perform the IO operation. So okay, these signal is also an active low signal. So it is also a active low signal. Okay. So and after that, the pin number 35. So the pin number 35 is the ready signal. Pin number 35. So this is a ready signal. Okay. So it is an active high signal. So it is an active high signal. A microprocessor can always ready to connect the external peripheral to the microprocessor. Okay. So that means it is an externally initiated input signal to the microprocessor. Okay. So it is input signal to a microprocessor, and it is used to get an extra time to data transfer. Okay. So an extra time. So extra time to data transfer. So that is nothing but ready. And after that, reset in. So next pin number 36. Here the pin number 36 is reset in bar. That means it is an active low signal. So here it is active low signal. Okay, so reset in is nothing but the microprocessor is reset. So here one pin is also there, that is the third pin. Here this is reset out is nothing but, so what are the peripherals are connecting to this microprocessor, those all peripherals are resetting, that is nothing but reset out. So it is an active high signal, so but it is an active low signal, so that is reset in. That means a microprocessor is reset. So okay, so here a microprocessor is reset. Okay, so and next one is pin number 37. Pin number 37. Next pin is the pin number 37. So the pin number 37 is the clock out. Clock out, which is used for the system clock generation. Okay, so it is used for the system clock generation. Out is nothing but it is also so what are the peripherals are connected, so that peripherals we need a clock, so this clock out will provide the whatever the clock we need, so the system clock will provide this clock out signal. And next after that the pin number 38. So here the pin number 38 and pin number 39, these two pins are the externally initiated input signals to the microprocessor. Okay, so here HOLD is nothing but hold, so it will hold the microprocessor, that means it will accept the input to the peripherals. Okay, so whenever the microprocessor is hold, for this hold signal it will send an acknowledgement to the peripherals, so that is nothing but HLDA. HLDA is nothing but what? Hold acknowledgement, so it will respond to this hold signal. So therefore pin number 38 and pin number 39 are the externally initiated signals. So here this is a hold and this is a hold acknowledgement. It will respond, hold acknowledgement will respond to this hold signal. That means it will send the acknowledgement to the microprocessor. Okay, so and after that the pin number 40. After that a pin number 40. So here the pin number 40 is a plus VCC. So that is how much power supply is required to operate a microprocessor is that is a 5 volts of plus 5 volts of a power supply. Okay, so these are the pin description of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so in this presentation I told in this presentation so introduction of a microprocessor, and next one basic features of a microprocessor, definition of a microprocessor, basic block diagram of microprocessor based system, and next one is the pin diagram of an 8085 microprocessor. So thank you.